everyone! So today we are filming a transformation video to go along with my last treasure hunt, which is Bonkers For Boy Dolls. None of these dolls are like really dirty or in really awful shape because 3 of them are boxed and the others are still wearing their original outfits. But I asked if you guys wanted to see this, you said you were, and I like to do a variety of transformation videos. We have 3 box dolls and 4 loose dolls, plus one of our old dolls too. This is Leroy, Water Jewel Magic Aladdin.
His face actually feels sticky. He needs to bathe.
So I'll show you the dolls really quickly. So we have boxed Water Jewel Magic Aladdin and Sun Jewel Shani and Atlantis Milo, who is actually quite dusty in his box. His nose has smudges on it, and you can see his box is in bad shape. And then we have Perfume Princess Cinderella, Picnic Casket for 2 Jackson. His hair is like crazy. And then we have Holt Hyde and Claude here, who is the original Claude. He's missing some flocking, so I am going to see if I can touch that up. I have some flocking that I bought for Vintage Ken Dolls a long time ago, but that's gonna end up being like a separate tutorial, but you will see what that looks like. And then that's obviously Leroy. So step 1 is opening up the dolls.
I haven't opened one of these brand new since like 1994 or 5.
This toga outfit is quite revealing.
Wow, it's the man of my dreams.
Oh my gosh.
His hair is a little bit dusty, but oh my god. Now let's compare my first Aladdin doll and my new Aladdin doll. As you see, the vest is quite a different color.
He came with a book.
The gold lame is like a yellowish brown on Leroy. I'm very excited about this. Now this brings me back. I'm about to sniff this doll. Don't think I'm weird. Smell.
It's like 90s box doll.
Doesn't it remind you of childhood?
Has this necklace thing like he had in the movie?
No.
Yeah.
He would look slightly revealing in that.
I know, I was saying that. Like look at it. What is... Like, don't worry, you're not wearing this.
Who manufactured him?
Mattel. You didn't know that?
It's just they're so...
they are weird looking.
They're so like off the beaten track that I just don't...
Yeah, I know. And Keita doesn't really look like a Mattel doll. She looks more like a Hasbro doll. Okay, so I have added all of the dolls to the inventory online and to my lists in the Hello Kitty binder. Yeah, that's a lot of inventory. And please excuse the dolls over here. They're old dolls and I need to do some things with them. Milo's outfit has been bagged and tagged. Although he's dusty and he's getting a bath, his outfit's fine.
He is absolutely filthy. He's got like...
Oh, I know. I'll show you an up close after. But if his clothes were like moldy or really dusty, or if there were bugs in the box, which all of these things have happened before, we would wash them, but they're not that bad. The dolls have all been undressed. Their clothes are in here, except obviously like the box dolls didn't need their clothes washed. These are Leroy's.
I decided to wash Leroy's.
Yeah, and then Holt has a big tag on himself that needs to get taken off. So right now, I have this like running list of body mold info for my Flickr guide. And can you move? Thank you. Oh God. So we're gonna write the dolls down.
The ones that we don't already have, the dupes we know are the same.
Yes, so let's do Milo first.
Alright, so his head has no date on it.
What? Oh, and he's China, right?
Yeah.
China. His body should be what, 68?
Yep, his body is 68. He's got straight arms and bend and snap legs. And like...
And he's got a tattoo on his arm.
Yes, he does.
Okay, so everyone is out, including old Leroy. I have my cleaning supplies and like plastic things. So I guess I'll run down things really quickly. Dish soap to use on their bodies and as a shampoo. I have some baking soda to clean their bodies. I have a toothbrush to scrub it in. I have fine tooth combs. I have conditioner. And then this is my gel bottle, which this is what I put on after I boil wash them and stuff. This is the gel I use. I get a lot of questions. It's really just the cheap kind. I've used other brands too. Please ignore Ashlyn. Long story. So yeah, and then as for the reason why the tea tree shampoo is out and the coconut oil, Jackson has really, really gluey, sticky hair, and it was actually trying some kind of glue removal on Ashlyn just for video purposes as like a homemade Goo Gone thing, but I ended up using too much coconut oil, so I'm gonna try mixing some of this with shampoo and some baking soda to see if that helps degrease him. I'll let you know how it works out. I'm not using regular dish soap because this is a degreaser, so I wouldn't want to put like grease basically in a degreaser. It doesn't
be counterproductive.
A little bit more in there. I don't put much. I used to put too much in, and it smells really good, but then you end up with sticky doll hair. So that's all I put in, and then I fill the rest up with hot water.
All mixed up. I'm like pretend I'm working on one of those martini bars.
Shani has really bad like gunk on her boobs from like where they put the sticky tape to hold her swimsuit in place. Fun fact. These ports over here on the doll, like the hole on the ace, is meant to hold perfume, and they came with like a little stopper. I think we actually put perfume in our childhood dolls at some point.
Oh, sure we did.
So I have to be really careful with Claude because you can see he's got like some spots in his flocking. So you can get like flocking wet most of the time, but you do want to be careful, especially like the Mattel dolls aren't flocked as well as say Bratz, and if it's already coming off, you definitely don't want to like have at it.
Maybe put a little too much conditioner on Shannon.
Alright, she really needs it.
Oh, her elastic broke out.
I'm gonna get a little teeny scoop of coconut oil, like a really small amount, because he has extremely short hair. Like I don't even know if I want to use that much, like this much. And I'm gonna get a pretty generous pump of my tea tree, and I'm just gonna like scrape it off. It's hot outside, so the oil is already soft, and then I'm going to mix it in with the shampoo. Oops. And then I'm going to put some baking soda in here too. And then we're going to massage it onto Jackson's head. And then I'm going to let him sit for a few minutes to let the like coconut oil kind of like work it off. Then I will rinse him and boil wash him and stuff. But yes, lesson learned from doing Ashlyn and my Apple White doll. Use a very small amount of coconut oil. You don't want to make like a ton of it because that's bad. You don't want oil in your doll's hair. And Shani and Cindy are in a really hot boil wash because Shani has terrible hair. So they're just gonna sit here while he sits with his coconut oil shampoo thing. And these guys are waiting to go on the bed. Your conversation with the dolls you were having.
Oh, that, so I said, so did you guys like know each other in your old home? Did you guys live together? I was wondering, I was also asking the stud muffin here how he was priced at only $5 and how he's been boxed all these years, and how no one until me thought to like formally adopt him and bring him into my life.
He's already like dry.
The same, I know, the same can be said of Shani. A word about man dolls though, they cling to water and they're like, yeah, he just peed on me.
Their bum region.
So like I tend to sit them on the bed.
Yeah, I help them pee the water out.
But
I love the smell of tea tree. Oh, I wanted to say this. So I bought this for myself because tea tree is supposed to be really good for your scalp, and my old shampoo was making like residue buildup and I was getting dandruff from it, which is really gross. But I decided to try this and it really helped. But part of why I love tea tree is because the very first shampoo I used to wash my dolls was tea tree shampoo that my mom bought from the salon when she had breast cancer and she had a wig, and I wasn't supposed to use it, and I know this is terrible, but I really liked the smell of it, and so I would always steal it for my dolls. And the first dolls I ever washed were Corduroy Cool Barbie named Lizzie and Foam and Color Barbie named Foam, and I remember standing right there at the sink when I was like 9 years old, and I remember washing them.
I want to know how you did this without mom catching you.
I don't think she knew, like, because I went in the bathroom and I would steal a pump of it. And then I would go and I'd like lather it and rinse it. And then I'd go in and get the conditioner or whatever. Status update. Everyone except Jackson is on the bed. This is old Shani, so this is our Shani doll we already had. And Colleen is going to wash her hair once and condition it. And we have Bay here, Jackson. And this is not the towel
Don't tell Eaton you're calling him Bane.
I used to dry the dishes. Don't judge me. I
Say hello.
was going to do the treatment again, but I decided to towel dry him really well and kind of feel I don't have any gel or anything in here yet. I'm gonna put some in, but I'm really like, he's got short hair, so it's drying really fast, and I'm not feeling stickiness.
I'm not either.
And in my experience, like, I don't want to sound cocky about this coconut treatment,
Right, because it could just be a fluke.
but I do know, like with Hunter, I washed him vigorously. I did a lot of stuff with him, and it didn't feel like this different. I think it really helped him. So I'll let you know when he's all dry. So the dolls are all drying on the bed. We've got our new friends, and we have, you know, old Leroy, old Mirror Beach Ashlyn here, and old Shani, who is this one. We can tell her apart because she has little nicks in her face.
I think this one's Leroy over here.
Yeah, I can tell by his hat. So, and then we have the shoes and stuff drying because there's not much. The dolls are mostly dry, and no one needs any other like rounds. Old Shani's hair turned out fabulously.
I figured old Shani's hair, and this is
I'm surprised I didn't do it before, because remember how I boil washed some of my friends' dolls?
You might have done her and it just still felt caca.
So my beloved Jackson Jekyll, whose hair, by the way, is pretty much not sticky anymore at all. He has some like scraggle bits of hair, as you can see.
Over, get out of the Bratz case. Come on.
So this just really cleans it up. I do this on girl dolls too, but on the guy dolls it makes the biggest difference.
I had to close the Bratz case because I didn't want him taking anything important like
Do
Snow
you
White's
mind?
head or ripping the tulle on her dress.
His bum is showing to the camera. No, cover yourself.
You know what's exciting about having Cloud Wolf?
I know.
I was thinking about, you know, the commercial, The School's Out, where it starts with him yowling.
So old Aladdin, Leroy, he needs some paint touch-up on his head because he's just old and a lot of the paint has worn off. I'll show you a close-up. So I do plan to make a tutorial on how I like touch up paint on dolls eventually. I've actually planned to do it months ago, but I just ended up putting it off and then losing my motivation to do it. But basically I have like just regular old paints that I get at like Walmart because it's really the only place that has craft supplies near me, and it's important to use only acrylic paints on dolls. I'm not going to go into too much depth, but please, whatever you do, don't use oil paints on dolls. Oil paints will actually cause the plastic to degrade over time, so you need to use acrylic because it's water-based. And then I do have a sealer that I also got at Walmart. Sealer is really important. If you paint on your dolls or if you use chalk pastels, whatever you use, you need to seal it or it's just going to come right back off. And this is like just a regular cheap sealer. Some people use much fancier ones, but this works for me. I mean, I don't do anything extravagant. And I do have one custom doll, but I've painted her entire face with this. And I've given her like several baking soda scrubs over the years and things like that. And her face paint has held up quite nicely. So I have enough to touch up his hat and his hair. So you can see that the top of his hat is all scuffed, probably from when Colin used to dress him as a kid and like put his hat on the floor. And then you can see he also has like balding going on from his paint rubbing off on his hair. Now when I was a kid, and also when I first got back into collecting, I made the mistake of using Sharpie, like permanent marker, to like fill in the color. And that's a bad idea. Please don't do that, because even if it doesn't bleed right away, eventually it will, and it will stain your doll. And yes, you can remove those stains, but it's better not to stain the doll in the first place. And even if it doesn't like bleed out, depending on where you put it, like on his hair you couldn't tell, it ended up fading anyways. It ended up turning like a purpley color, so it wasn't worth it in the first place. So I say just do it right the first time and it'll look better and you won't risk damaging your doll. So I'm going to start with the black in his hair, so you can see. And I like to mix a little sealer in with the paint too. Just a few little drops. You don't want to do too much sealer because that can be a bad thing. It can make it a little too sticky. And also, thin coats of paint are the best. You don't want to like have too much paint on your brush at any given point. And I do want to say that if you decide you don't like it, what removes the acrylic paint but not the factory paint is rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. That's how you can usually tell if a doll's been customized or if it's factory paint, because factory paint won't and shouldn't come off with like a quick wipe of rubbing alcohol. I mean, if it's very degraded, it might peel a little bit, but it's not just going to wipe all off perfectly clean. So I'm going to carry on with this and show you what he looks like after. So this is my new perfume princess, Cinderella, and she turned out really well. She has very soft, shiny, full hair, and this is my childhood doll. Her dress is a lot more vibrant, a lot more voluminous than my other doll. Even like this sheer part, it's gone gray and gross on childhood Cindy here, and she's gonna take this doll's stead on display and her stand. So I made this stand a long time ago. This is actually one of the stands my dad cut for me back in 2011. I repainted it at some point, I think in 2014. Then we have Milo. He doesn't really look much different, but he is cleaner. So this is the new Water Jewel Magic Aladdin. You can tell by the outfit here. He was the doll we got at the flea market when we were kids. Leroy, he got like the whole works. I painted his head and his hat, and yes, he is really shiny right now because that was glossy black paint, but touching up the paint made him look a lot more youthful. And then we have my two Shanies over here. So this is my new one, and this is how her hair turned out. It's very curly. This is my old Shani. So I got her at the flea market in 2012 on Father's Day. We went with my dad's best friend that year. It was right after my dad passed away, so she's really special. This was my first Shani doll in my collection. She got her hair done too, so it looks a lot better. It's really, really soft. And Jackson, Claude, and Holt. So they don't really look that different, obviously, but I will be touching up the flocking over here when I get the right kind of glue. You can see how nice his hair looks now. It's like very shiny, but it's not sticky or anything. It has a nice gloss. It doesn't have all those straggly bits. He's just such a stud muffin. I'm so happy with all of these dolls. Like I said, there's pictures of them on my Flickr already. So I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.